Acupuncture is the art that stimulates certain points of the body, usually with metal needles, to promote healing. And if you've heard of a disease, then there's probably a story of acupuncture curing it. And there is strong evidence that suggests that acupuncture can help relieve pain and many other ailments. Acupuncture was originally derived from Taoist philosophies about the observation and manipulation of the energies around us. Taoism originated over 8,000 years ago. Most traditional Chinese medicine has roots from over 2,500 years ago. It uses techniques that promote self-healing and overall wellness and revolves around energy in the body and the manipulation of it. Prevention of disease through diet and exercise are also huge parts of traditional Chinese medicine. When our bodies are out of balance, we become sick, and acupuncture is about putting our body back in balance. Tai Chi, cupping, and acupuncture are all various methods used to keep the body balanced. In traditional Chinese medicine, qi or qi is what makes up energy, and that qi is what makes up the world. Qi flows like air, qi is life energy, and qi flows through our body. Qi flows through our bodies on pathways. These pathways are called meridians. There are 12 main and 8 secondary pathways for the energy to flow through. Along these meridians, there are as many as 2,000 acupuncture points. Acupuncture is used to block and unblock certain points to manipulate the qi in your body in order to promote self-healing. In Western medicine, no one is quite sure why acupuncture works, but there are many studies suggesting that it works very well. There are also various theories as to why acupuncture works. The theory with the strongest evidence so far indicates that there is an opioid release near the points of insertion when doing acupuncture. Opioids are the feel-good chemicals in your body that bind to opioid receptors in order to block out pain. There are numerous other studies that indicate that there is a neuropeptide and neurohormone release in the nervous system after acupuncture. Neuropeptides and neurohormones are used by neurons to communicate with each other. They are signaling molecules that influence the activity of the brain and body in specific ways. Another theory, the gate theory, suggests that acupuncture can stimulate peripheral nerves that turn off nerve fibers in the central nervous system, which ends the transmissions of pain into the body. Now we will go into the history of acupuncture. Taoists observed the movement of energy in the universe, and acupuncture came about as a direct result of Taoist philosophies. In Chinese history, there are 2 Stone Ages, the Old Stone Age and the New Stone Age. Bamboo tools were used for medicine during this time, and the first uses of stone tools for medicine happened during the Old Stone Age. During the New Stone Age, technology allowed for fine stone needles to be crafted. The fine needles that were invented were used to promote healing, and during this time period, acupuncture was first developed. The most significant milestone in the history of acupuncture occurred during the period of Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor. In a famous dialogue between Huangdi and his physician Qi Bo, they discussed the whole spectrum of Chinese medical arts. One of the most important ancient Chinese texts on medicine, the Nijing, was based off of this dialogue. It was the first book on Chinese medicine and was written around 305 to 204 BC. The Nijing is separated into 2 parts. The Su Wen, which means plain questions, and the Ling Shu, which means miraculous pivot or spiritual axis. The Ling Shu is more important when it comes to acupuncture because it discusses the meridians, acupuncture points, different needling techniques, the types of qi, and the location of over 160 points. After the time of the Yellow Emperor, China went through its Warring States period. During this period, acupuncturists transitioned from using stone needles to using metal needles. During the Sui and Tang dynasties, the Chinese government hired Zhen Quan, one of the premier physicians at the time, to revise the ancient acupuncture texts and charts. Acupuncture became a special branch, and practitioners started to get called acupuncturists during this period. During the Song and Ming dynasties, a premier physician, Wang Weihe, wrote the illustrated manual on points for acupuncture and moxibustion. He discovered extra acupuncture points, and during this period, ancient techniques and texts were revised and revisited, and new techniques were invented. This brings us into modern acupuncture. The use of acupuncture is currently on the rise in Western civilization. During the 1934 Long March, a weak and hungry communist army used it to stay healthy.
And in the last 100 years, we've even developed acupuncture anesthesia.
New techniques are currently being developed, and Western medicine is studying acupuncture in an empirical fashion for the first time. And finally, we will go over the safety of acupuncture and the side effects of acupuncture. When going to an acupuncturist, if they're an experienced practitioner and licensed, they'll have clean needles, and in that case, there are almost no health complications or risks. Unclean needles can result in an infection, and an inexperienced acupuncturist may puncture an organ if they go too deep, particularly the lungs.
Very rarely, acupuncture can have some negative side effects. These include a worsening of your symptoms, fatigue, soreness, bruising, muscle twitches. Some people will even have an emotional response to it.
These side effects usually last a couple hours to a couple days afterwards, and usually go away with no problems before you start getting better. There are also numerous benefits to getting acupuncture. These include better sleep, having more energy, mental clarity, better digestion, and less stress.
So you guys all have a good weekend. See you next week.